Welcome back to the Aussie Shed, ladies and gentlemen. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm launching my website, finally. It's called Upper Hand Performance Products, and it's focusing specifically on bits for the Z32 platform that I'm making right here in the shed. So let's go and have a bit of a look at what I've been up to. So I've been hard at it on the mill, guys. This is a typical example of some of the work that I've been doing. There's a bit of a bracket sitting on there that I've been working on. I've been churning out a whole heap of stuff that I think you guys might be interested in. So let's go and have a bit of a look, eh? And what I have here is the result of all the hard work and time I've been putting in. It's been quite a journey for me to get this all sort of set up. It's been months and months in the making. It's been quite a challenge to get stuff that I need to put all this stuff together. For example, parts out of Japan, minimum of 8 weeks. And a lot of this stuff uses various genuine Nissan parts, you know, in various configurations on some, but not all of the stuff that I've been sort of knocking up. You can see all the Nissan bags here of stuff. I'll get into that in a minute. I'll show you exactly what I've sort of got there. But a lot of this stuff's based around pedal assemblies currently, because, well, that's what I've been working on the Fairlady. So I guess we might as well dive right into it and have a look at the main thing that I've been developing, and we'll let the cat out of the bag. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is my Z32 specific drive-by-wire throttle pedal assembly. So for all you guys that are interested in going drive-by-wire, this is the solution that I've developed, because I couldn't find what I considered to be a decent solution that fit the bill for what I wanted and has to also look right with the Z32. Most of the pedals that I've come across, all the aftermarket stuff and everything, they just don't look right sitting in the Z32. In fact, they look kind of hideous. So let's have a look at what I've come up with. So this is the basis for the drive-by-wire setup that I'm using here. This is a modified left-hand drive US version 350Z Sport drive-by-wire throttle pedal assembly. So this is a used pedal that I completely refurbish and modify for this purpose. So when I get hold of these things, they're stripped down, the frames are all cleaned and given a zinc wash. The bushes are all checked and replaced if they need to be, and greased before reassembly. The position sensor on the units are all tested, and they're really good. I haven't found any yet that have been even slightly suspect. They appear to be, you know, a really good unit, which is typical of all OEM stuff, particularly Nissan stuff, generally very high quality. You know, I'm really happy with them. So you can see here, that's a strain relief. They don't come with a strain relief fitted to them because they have the wiring looms chopped off. But I've got some cable ties with plugs and everything that fit into the original strain relief, so that you know, when you fit the wiring loom, it all just sort of works really well. Now the pedal, as I say, it's been modified by me. Also the pedal pads, I have completely refaced these. So as I say, this has all been stripped apart. These pedal pads have been refaced and cleaned and completely renewed. They're basically, you know, as good as a brand new pedal pad. They certainly don't look used. None of the assembly looks used, as you can see from here. The main reason I've gone to a used assembly rather than a new assembly is cost. Basically, to buy this new from Nissan, you're looking at over $400 for it, and it just makes it you know, a bit pricey as far as by the time the rest of the kit's been set up, where it would push the price point to for something like this. And you know, none of us are sort of rich guys or anything. We're all got to be very careful of our dollars. So I've done my absolute best to keep the cost of these down as low as I possibly can. Alright, so what comes in with a kit? Let's just put that guy down there. Of course, this is the secret sauce. This is the billet adapter that I've made here in the shed. That piece there took me months and months of R&D. I've made so many different versions of that. out of different things, starting with obviously in the prototyping stage using plywood and plastic and things like that. But what I feel I have there now is the perfect setup to mount this pedal. It also comes with a 2-meter motorsport wiring harness with the connector already pre-wired onto it. I feel that 2 meters is enough to get from the pedal to where the ECU mounts in the Z32. I currently have all this stuff fitted in my Z32, and it all seems to work really well, and there is enough cable length in this at 2 meters. So the way this all sort of goes together, wiring harness, plugs into your position sensor there. You just bring it back down to here, fit your strain relief like so, get it nice and tight, cut that off, and away you go. You start running your wiring line, and what that means is you have the factory strain relief set up that the Z33 was originally wired with. You know, I think that's really important to set that up in that way, just so there's no pressure on this plug and also on the position sensor. So what I've done with this, guys, to make it a really good solution, is by using the billet mount that I've made, I've managed to locate this pedal in such a fashion as it duplicates the original factory position. So it sits in the vehicle, and the pedal is in exactly the same spot as the factory pedal, you know. It retains the use of the factory plastic pedal stop on the floor, which is mounted onto your carpet, which none of the other pedal solutions on the market do. They all mean you have to remove that and or have it there and not really serve a purpose, and it just means it bugs up the carpet and it just doesn't really look right. So when this is installed, it looks completely factory. The pedal height is exactly the same as the standard cable pedal in the car, and the pedal ratio is also exactly the same. So as I say, it's taken a lot of effort to get that right, and I believe that's exactly what I've achieved with this. I'll take you into the front of the Fairlady shortly, and I'll show you this setup, and I'll give you a little bit of a demo of it in position and give you an idea of what it looks like. I think you'll be really happy with it. Also, with these pedals, on the website I have an option of fitting the Nismo 380RS pedal pad to these things. So that's the JDM Nismo 380RS version, which is a slightly different shape. So I've got one just here. I'll just get it out of the packet, and I'll give you a bit of a squiz at what I'm talking about. So that's the Nismo 380RS pedal. It's just a complete swap over, so I am offering this as an option on the website as well. And the benefit of this pedal is that it makes it a lot easier for heel-toe downshift rev matching. So if you're a person who has a few manual skills and can downshift rev match, this is the pedal for you. It allows you to kick your foot across when you're braking with your toes, and this little piece on the side makes it really easy to get it with the heel of your foot when you're braking, and be able to you know, blip the accelerator like that. Really good thing. You can still do it with this sort of pedal, but you've just got to, it's a little bit harder, it just takes a little bit more skill is all. So these are an option anyway. Again, these are one of the things that just took me forever to get hold of. As with all the stuff like this, it's got to come from this in Japan, and there is a hell of a big weight for it. I don't have a lot of them in stock. Oh, okay, so also in the kit, where are we here? Let me just go back into this. So we also have fixing hardware and your strain relief cable tie. When you get the pedal, it won't come with that one attached there. I just stuck that on it, so you know, I could use it for sort of demonstration purposes. I'm currently waiting on some stainless bolts. These are the bolts that attach the pedal to the billet mount, and I've got some longer ones to attach it to the floor pan. But they're on back order. I'll possibly have them already by the time people order these things from me, or if anyone does. But you can use your factory throttle pedal bolts on there. They're quite a long thing. They're about 40mm long, which is due to this arrangement here on your factory throttle pedal. You notice it does have these big standoffs, and those bolts are reusable in my mount if I don't supply you with new ones. I have nice new stainless ones ordered, but like I say, hopefully they'll be here, but if not, just reuse your old ones. And I'll send you some if you want me to. Just let me know, send me a message. Okay, also in here, there is a full set of instructions which details how to do it all, wiring diagram, not that you really need that, but it tells you which wires are which on the wiring loom, and what you'll need to do to hook them into your ECU, into your aftermarket ECU. By the way, this isn't compatible with the factory ECU. It's not compatible with drive-by-wire pedals or throttles or anything in any way. So this is strictly for guys with aftermarket ECUs. I also have the Haltech drive-by-wire throttle wiring diagram, which is applicable for this. You can use this if you've got a Haltech. It just shows you which wires are what on drive-by-wire pedals. There's 6 connections. They're always the same, and it just shows you which connections go where on your Elite Series, etc. Haltech ECUs. But as I say, it's the same for all aftermarket ECUs. It'll just make it a little bit easier for you to work out exactly what's going on with it. As you can see, we've got 6 wires here, and it's basically 3 sets of 2. So with the drive-by-wire throttle pedals, with basically all of them, you have 2 5-volt wires, which are these 2 guys here. You have 2 sensor ground wires, which are these 2 here, and you have the 2 output wires from the sensor. So basically it has 2 potentiometers inside of it that each give out a signal, and they have to match, and that's the way the ECU keeps track of it. And they work in opposite orders as well, so they send the ECU opposite signals, which the ECU then matches up. So basically these 2 are the only ones here that have to be in the right positions as far as 1 and 2, sensor 1 and 2, and then you have 2 5 volts and 2 sensor grounds. Anyway, that's all in the layout for you guys. Very plain, very easy to understand. So yeah, there's pictures of how to sort of install it all and all that sort of thing, and I'm sure you'll be happy with how easy it is to put in and all that sort of stuff. It's a very, very simple job. Okie doke, so that's what's in the box with that guy. And another thing, if you guys aren't interested in this style of pedal, I have been trying to get hold of a plain plastic pedal that sort of matches the factory pedal that's in the Z32, but they're currently out of stock everywhere in Japan. I have an order in. I don't know when I'll be able to get them. They won't tell me when they're coming in. But I figure most people wouldn't be interested in the plain plastic pedals anyway, because I have solutions for all the pedals, which we'll get into shortly. So continue on with the pedals, guys. I'll just put this guy across here for a little bit later. So to match him with the drive-by-wire pedal, I also have these guys here. Now, I'll show you all this on my Z32 because they're all fitted to it. So these are 350Z Sport clutch and brake pedal pads here for a manual car, obviously. And I also have the same pedal pad, or pedal pads they are. I also have the same pedal pad for the automatic version, which again fits the Z32. So if you have, and I'll show you on this one, so if you obviously have the drive-by-wire pedal, you can then match it to these guys here. Alright, so we end up with a sort of a complete solution. So you say, well, what about the factory plastic footrest that sits over on the side here? That looks really daggy. Well, I agree. So what I've been doing is working on a way to match that in as well. So I've created a billet cover for the factory footrest, which I'll show you here, and this matches everything together, so we end up with a complete matching set. So I'll just get this out, and this is how this stuff will come. I've bought packaging so that everything is packaged up in a way that it's going to be safe in the mail, and it'll sort of all get to you neat and tidy. So this is the billet footrest cover. I'll just flick you a quick image of it. It fitted over the plastic footrest now. So this is the piece that we mount to it. So in the kit, detailed instructions of how to do all of this. So instructions, mounting instructions, how to set it up on your plastic rest and everything. It's all here. So I've tried to create as comprehensive an instruction sheet to do this as possible. It's pretty easy to do. Again, not something that most people won't be able to do. All you need is a cordless drill or a drill of some sort, you know, and a couple of tools, and you will be able to do this very, very easily. So this is the billet footrest cover. I'll just get it out of the bag and I'll show you exactly what it is here. Alright, let me just take that and put it down there. So this billet footrest cover, I've made these here on the mill in the Aussie shed, and they're finished to match the layout and design of all of these assemblies, and even the surface finish. Let me just get that back up there. The surface finish is identical, so you know it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how it sort of turned out. Alright, now because the plastic footrest underneath has sort of a crappy texture on the top of it, and most of them are worn and look like garbage, I didn't want that to be visible through the holes in this. So what I have on the back here is a removable plastic coated aluminium backing piece, and with each kit you get a spare one, and these just stick on. You can just put a bit of super glue on it or a bit of adhesive, and this actually gets sandwiched between the plastic pedal base and the billet cover. So really all it needs is a couple of drops just to hold it in position so that when you bolt it all down it doesn't kind of shift around. Even the one that's on there, it's quite easy to peel it off, and you can either like clean it out, like use that to peel off and then clean the stuff out, like if you step in dog shit or something like that. And you can put it back, clean it, put it back, you can flip it over, it's reversible. Again, if it gets damaged in some way, I'm supplying a spare one with each pedal pad. Like I say, that is some very, very thin aluminium with a plastic coating on either side. Obviously, all the fixing hardware comes with it. Countersunk stainless bolts to attach it. This one here attaches into the original mount. It replaces the factory bolt that goes in through there, and these actually attach it to the plastic base itself. So again, I'll put up some pictures. You can see it in the Fairlady installed, and see, and tell me what you think of it. I think it looks pretty good personally. Okay, so now that led me down another little rabbit hole, and I thought, well, you know, if I've got this really awesome pedal set for the drive-by-wire guys, that kind of leaves everyone else out of the equation, you know. And I thought, well, I've covered guys with manual transmissions, automatic transmissions, but what I hadn't done at that point was work out a solution for people who just want to change to a nicer looking sport pedal assembly that's all genuine Nissan stuff, who aren't going drive-by-wire. So that is where this comes into it. So as you can see, this is a standard factory cable throttle assembly. Now what I've done is I've adapted this assembly to use the 350Z sport pedal, and of course this will also fit the Nismo RS380 pedal, goes straight onto it as well. Now that obviously replaces this assembly, and you can see that's my original one. It's nothing exciting. You know, all of the original stuff is not real great in my opinion. There's your original clutch and brake pedals, you know. So yeah, they're just not great. They just look very dated, and you know, not something that you would expect to see in a nice sporty Z32. So how I've done this, I've created a new bush that allows me to mount that pedal pad onto this this cable throttle assembly. Now there is a little bit of modification that needs to be done to this cable throttle assembly. On the back normally it has a spring arrangement that goes sort of through here. You know, the bar goes through here and the springs, and this does have a bit of a springy thing going on. That's something that, you know, Nissan got rid of when they went to this style of throttle pedal. So yeah, there's like a T-bar that goes across there. You know, just a little bit of grinding and stuff needs to be done to the pedal, but it's only very, very minor. And so if you order one of these replacement pedals from me, it comes with the bush already modified and everything. So all you have to do is just basically fit it on. So once you get all the old stuff cut off it, which is very simple to do, you should be able to just bolt it on in position. Now it does keep the factory position again as well, because the pedals are you know, identical in kind of shape and size and all that sort of stuff. But you may possibly, worst case scenario, bend this bar slightly to get it lining up. I don't think that's the case. I think they should all just go straight on and you should be good to go. Whether or not the stop is affected, I personally don't feel it is, but again, that's something that you may need to check and adjust your throttle cable to suit, you know, just so that you know everything's 100%. So what that does now is it gives everyone the opportunity to go over to these new sports pedal sets and ditch all of that stuff, including the rest. Let's take a look at some photos that I'll just quickly spin through on this stuff installed on the Fairlady, and I'll walk you over and we'll actually have a look inside the car. So lighting is always the bane of my existence in the shed, guys. It's so hard to get light onto everything. Let's get that in there and see what we get. Alright, I'm going to have to take the camera off the stand and take it in for a bit more of a look. So prepare for some wobbly action. Alright, here we go. Michael J. Fox on the camera. So that's my setup there. As you can see, it matches the stuff in the picture. So that's the bloody, get back. My light just slid off. So you can see that's my UPP billet footrest, the Z33 clutch and brake pedal pads, and the Z33 Nismo 380RS accelerator pedal pad on there for those fabulous heel toes. Now that is a drive-by-wire pedal that is installed. You can see it's in the factory position, and if I can just get in there, the factory pedal stop is still there, and and everything works as per normal. So that's our accelerator, you know, it stops on the stop. We've got full range with the sensor, and it looks very, very factory. As I say, if you don't like the sport pedals, which I think you're crazy, but I know some people like to go for you know, originality. Let me know if you're going to go drive-by-wire and you don't like the sport pedals. Just let me know, and I'll see if I can track one down. But as I say, there is a bit of a wait. So that's what it all looks like installed, guys. I hope you like it, because I reckon it looks pretty bloody sweet. And in my opinion, guys, the Z32 deserves something like this. You think of, you know, any modern sort of sports performance vehicle, you always have these kind of sport pedal pads. the plastic crap that was fitted to it originally, that's all really now just relegated to base model vehicles. Anyhow, let's get back to the bench, and I think I've got one more thing to show you. Ah yes, here we are, back at the bench. Alright, what I have in here is something that quite a few people have been asking me about. And I didn't really want to let the cat out of the bag. But while I've been churning out all this stuff, I've also made some sets of Delrin throttle body bushings. So if your throttle body bushings are shot, just get onto the Upper Hand Performance Products website and you can get a set right there. I've only currently got 2 sets of these. Again, I didn't want to make a whole heap of stuff because they do take a ton of time to make if people weren't going to be interested in buying them. But that being said, I do have some Delrin here in the shed that I can use to quickly make up more sets if I do get people interested in buying those. So that's it really. That's about all I've got time for now. But I figure I couldn't really launch my website without any products on it. And so this is what I've come up with. Like I say, it has been quite a while in the making. Quite a lot of research, quite a lot of time to get stuff, and you know, obviously develop all the different bits and pieces and everything to make this all sort of work. I will be adding more products as time goes by. I already have a few prototypes in the works for some other bits and pieces that I'm planning on putting on there. So keep an eye on the website. I'll leave a link in the description to the website. I'll also probably end up putting some merch on there, and now at least it gives me somewhere where I can do Aussie Shed merch. So I'll probably set Aussie Shed merch up on the Upper Hand Performance website. So any links for any of that sort of stuff I'll put in the description. If you do go to the website and you're interested in purchasing anything, any of the stuff on there, I do have PayPal and all those sort of payment things on there, so it should be pretty easy. I built the website myself. Now, I'm not a IT person, I'm just me. I think I've done a reasonable job. I actually have built websites myself before, so I didn't go into this sort of completely blind. But again, if you're having any trouble with the website, let me know and I will correct it, because it's kind of hard to go from you know, the development side of the website to actually using it and see if there's any hiccups with it. As I say, you know, the website hasn't really been used yet, so I'm sure there will be hiccups with it. If there are, as I say, guys, just let me know and I'll address it really quickly. Alright, so there you go, that's it. So that's the official launch of the Upper Hand Performance Products website, which is obviously my website, linked to the Aussie Shed and all the Aussie Shed stuff. It all sort of crosses over between the two of them. I'll also be setting up a Upper Hand Performance Products YouTube page and Facebook page, and I will be using those to host things like video instructions for things. So other than having you know, just all the paper printed out instructions for any of this stuff, plus any new stuff that I'm making, I will probably also do a YouTube instructional video on all of the components, just because, hey, it's the modern day. That makes it really easy to do stuff, I reckon. Alright guys, a bit of a different video today, but thanks for watching. And as always guys, I'll bloody well see you on the next one. Cheers.